What is up, my beautiful people? My name is G-Vans and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the new album by James Vickery entitled Overture. Or is it Overture? No, it's definitely Overture. I'm fucking retarded. This is the latest EP by James Vickery, a British R&B singer, and it comes to us about 2 years since his Until Morning EP came out back in 2018. I never heard that one before. As a matter of fact, I never heard any other projects or any other songs that James Vickery has made because I didn't know that this guy was an artist, or I just overall didn't know who he was until the homie Dev asked me to review the album. So James Vickery is pretty much this new R&B artist who is on a come up pretty much. After this album, I think he is gonna like start blowing up soon. I think this is the EP where he's gonna get a little bit more attention. And I'll be honest, I get a bit sketchy whenever new R&B artists like start to like blow up. And it's not because I think they're garbage, I do, like hearing a bit of modern R&B from here and there, but honestly, it just isn't as good as the old school, like classic R&B was back then. So that's why I get a bit sketchy, because sometimes I don't feel that these new R&B artists are like any like different or unique. I just feel that they kind of like sound the same. However, I will give an exception to James Vickery because this man is not only super fucking talented, but I think he is like the most unique R&B artist that I've heard in a fucking while. I think he is definitely becoming like the underdog and sort of like the outcast of the whole R&B scene. Honestly, the album cover to the EP should be enough for you guys to want to go check him out because of that tattoo that he has on his left ear. For those of you that don't know, James Vickery was actually born deaf on the left side of his ear, and that's why he has that tattoo there. And that's why I think it's really powerful how he just like it's finally like showing off that tattoo to like sort of like say, yeah, like I am deaf from the other ear, but that definitely didn't like stop him from pretty much doing his thing and following his dreams, because this EP is probably one of the best like sort of indie like R&B albums that I've heard in a while. Honestly, James Vickery just has probably one of the most unique voices I've ever heard from an R&B artist. Most R&B artists have that sort of high note, those like to show off, oh, like how high I can sing and whatnot, which is perfectly fine. I do really love whenever R&B artists that like just hit those notes like really fucking great. But James Vickery is just very different because he sort of like adds a sort of like creepy atmosphere to all of his music, because he has like such a like deep and soothing voice that you would never think would work well with something like R&B, but James Vickery just somehow made it sound really good. The way James Vickery is able to hypnotize the listeners with his soothing voice is just really fucking amazing, and overall I really didn't get bored throughout this whole EP, and that's because of James Vickery's voice. I think if you came into this album as the first like shit that you hear by James Vickery and you never heard of this guy like I did, then I think this EP is the perfect place to start, because you will never ever get bored, and I think you will probably enjoy almost every song on here. The production value on this album is a really big highlight as well, and one of the reasons is because it sounds like that sort of like indie bedroom pop that honestly never fails to impress me. I really do vibe with that indie pop. As most of you do know, I'm not that big of a pop fan, but indie pop I actually really do like, because that one just hits you like a lot more differently, and it's a lot more better than the overall mainstream pop that you hear on the radio. The other reason why the production value is great on this EP is because James Vickery teams up with two talented producers, including S.G. Lewis and none other than Kenny Beats himself. I was really surprised that Kenny Beats showed up on this album, because most of his projects are with other rap artists, including G Herbo, Denzel Curry, Rico Nasty, and many other modern rap superstars. So I was really surprised that he showed up with an R&B artist, especially with someone as talented and underrated as James Vickery. And I really thought that he wasn't going to do well with the production value, because it is R&B and not a rap project. But he did prove me wrong, because Kenny Beats went all out. I think this man has one of the most like unique ways of making beats and melodies, and he recently did become probably one of my favorite modern and underrated producers that we have right now. He's really unique. He's not like all these other like overrated producers, which I don't really mind, but Kenny Beats is just a force to be reckoned with himself, and I think this album proved that Kenny Beats can go all out and do like more stuff outside of hip-hop. And although James Vickery does have a bunch of open and vulnerable songs throughout this whole album that can make you fucking cry and just make you like really think for a really long time, I did really enjoy the few songs that James Vickery just gets a bit more nasty and just, sort of makes some sort of like sexy songs. Some people would think that it's a bit unnecessary, but I actually didn't mind him. I think, James Vickery has the perfect voice to make a pretty like flirty and sort of like sexy ass song. And he just overall like has a different mood for each tone on his voice. And I just really enjoyed hearing almost every track on this album. I honestly wish I could say more about this EP, but honestly it is only a 6-track EP, and I can't really go on a whole like big like 10-minute rant as I always do. So I think at this point I would just have to wait for a full-length album by James Vickery so I can truly decide and interpret whether or not he is worth hearing. I think the best way for me to describe this album is for you guys to think of it as a bit of an appetizer and a bit of a taste of what's to come for James Vickery future, because I have no doubt that after this EP there are some great things for his fucking music career. Overall, James Vickery does have a lot of obvious talent and a lot of obvious passion for what he does, and you can really hear it throughout this whole EP in his voice. And I do highly recommend this guy to each and every one of you. Go listen to his past EPs and get ready for a hopefully soon to come full-length project by James Vickery. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed my review, this album was requested by the homie Dev. Shout out to you, dude. You really wanted me to make a video on this guy, so here you go. Hopefully I didn't disappoint you. So yeah, shout out to you, Dev. Hope you feel better, my guy. What else do y'all want me to talk about next? Let me know in the comment section down below. It can be from any genre, any artist, any era, and I will hear it, and I will try to get to you guys as soon as possible. With that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff so you don't miss a single one of my uploads whatsoever, and don't forget to stay happy.
Don't wake me up, babe. I realize it's way past 10, but I am tough, yeah.